It looks like we're live. Take it away.
All right. Hey, welcome to Open Spaces on Gimbalabs. Today's is 10 Day. It's actually a special day because it's a few people's birthday. It's actually the National Day of Taiwan. Uh, yeah, ask me later why I
Didn't know
know
that. Great.
that. Um, but today we really want to talk about Project Catalyst, which just had a deadline of submissions. Um, You'll see this. I've got the screen of the Project Catalyst idea scale up. There should be like a little countdown that says, oh yeah, 28 days to submit proposals. This is not right. Well, something's
Give
wrong.
them
Things
give
may
them a little
break.
refresh.
Things may
Their
break in
caching,
Catalyst.
idea scale caching has been a little funny, I found.
You're in the
Oh,
partner
Yeah.
category, Newman. The
oh,
partner.
that's what it is.
Well done. Good catch. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, so one of the things that we wanted to do today is to look over Catalyst. I have a personal um, motivation to sort of capture the beautiful brain trust that we've here. You just heard Q's voice, um, uh, also known as Quasar, also known as many other names. It's one of the things about Q. You'll be like, hey, who's this guy? He's really insightful and incredible. And then you're like, oh, that's Q again. He's on his alt. He's on his alt. But I'd love to find out like what everyone's catalyst proposals are. And so I've gone about this in different ways. Um, you can go into your uh notifications up here and you can follow people. For instance, I follow Quasar and then I know like when he submits an idea. So here are so let's just use Quasar. Quasar, you're on the block. So you can go to his profile and go to his activity stream. Activity stream, you can look at ideas. And now check this out. We know that 4 hours ago, after a giant hurricane, he's like, my house is fine. It's time to submit some catalyst proposals. um, and then what you can do, check it out. So this was the last fund. That was in May. So this is what I've been doing. I just take this, I just do a little copy. I go over to Notion and I have no idea what's going to pop up on Notion to begin with. I hope it's appropriate. Um, and I am going to go to here, I'm going to navigate. Oh, is there something? Project Catalyst, process of building, onboarding. I'm just gonna jump in and do a thing. Check this out. Um, I'm gonna put in fund 13 proposals. And you could do this on whatever and then check out what happens. No,
Do
that's not
a,
it.
oh, look at that. Hold on. Do a quick, if you do an at sign,
Okay.
right where you are in the text, and then you
Yeah.
start typing the word proposals, you will see that one of the items in this list is just called proposals. Where is it?
15 more results.
Yeah, there it is.
Proposals.
When it's a more specific name than that, it's easier to find, I guess. But
Ah, look at this.
here's an introductory database that hints and through together just where we can start tracking things.
Aha, look at this. Okay. And maybe we put, okay, so there's fund 12, fund 13, et cetera, et cetera. I don't, so you can add proposals in whatever no, so what I was thinking is maybe we could, Q, would you want to you want to highlight any of these or is this we could put these in this database? That might be fun.
So yeah, I mean, I can highlight them, sure. I would like to say that there was a hurricane. We had power going off and on last night, so I had to, turn everything off. So I was going to submit them, last night. But yeah, man, we can go through it. I don't mind.
and then the idea would be to really like, maybe I want to stay away from Miro, but anyone that's on the Notion, um, I wonder about putting them into a database. I sort of like, although what would happen if you did? I guess I could put in a link because these go to a Notion tab. I don't
Yeah.
know. Hold on. Let's play around. You guys talk amongst yourselves for a second. Hold on. Which one do you want to highlight most, Quasar?
Is there one that says placeholder? I would prefer to highlight placeholder. Honestly, you might want to use like Martin's Dandelion Light here in chat. I mean, I could
Okay.
highlight them. But the proposals aren't complete, so
Oh
I
yeah,
put them
no worries.
in.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're gonna be edited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's look over. And so one of the ways is if you look, if you search Project Catalyst. Oh, and he's actually got it set up. If it's in the chat, hold on. Chat. Nice. Okay, here is Martin's. But the interesting thing is if you can somehow get it. So it's like, how do you copy this? You know, what I can do is I can cheer it on and then go up to my stream. It's just a weird thing. But you can do this. If you copy that, or wait a minute, let's just copy the link and then see what Notion does with it. Anyway, my idea is, oh, he's on it. You can see a J, a turquoise J is at work. Okay, he's got the URL, he's got the proposer, and then we can put in the fun 13. What other beautiful fields are in this? Related parties. We could put Martin, we could put Roberto, we could put who wait a minute. No, who's your Martin, who's your main collaborator over there?
Adriano.
Adriano, that's right.
I'm
Let's
co-main.
spell. The co-main? Oh, and then let's put Q in there.
Steve is in there. Roberto is in there. As many people who want to be there can be in there.
Yeah, I wonder on that Catalyst tool if there are no API calls possible to extract the data from it. I tried it before, but it's been a year ago or half a year ago. I don't know if any new tools are available, but I know that there is a GitHub repository that keeps track of all the data, but it's not the latest version like the F13 that now is released. But that would be nice to make some kind of a database or import it in a graph database and then see the relationships and so on. Yeah.
Lido Nation has been leading the work on that. Have you checked that out?
No, I'm interested to have a look. Lido Nation.
Lido Nation.
.com.
And this is they've built a really nice interface for it that has been essential for several rounds now. But they've also been champions of getting access to the APIs, and I would be thrilled to talk about that.
Okay, thank you for the tip.
Yeah, and Kevin, here on the screen is the Lido Nation page for the Fund 12, which I'm highlighting here, the proposals, and for the Dandelion Light for proposal for Fund 12. Now, so what I can do actually, because of the way we just set this up, I'm going to copy this and go over to Notion, back to this Notion page, and put in Lido Nation Fund 12 proposal, and do it like this. And then this is interesting. And so when you paste in a URL, it gives you the option to do this sort of things. I think I just do URL. Does anyone else like use bookmark or embed or mention? Do you know what the differences are there?
Sometimes the other ones are cool, but it depends again on APIs. Let's see what the embed looks like.
Let's do it. Oh boy, something is happening.
Not bad.
Ooh.
Huh.
Look at that.
What is that even?
It shares the video. That's because of decisions that Darlington and the team made to have
That's
embed
right.
video like that.
That's
What
right.
would an embed give us? Same
Let's,
thing.
yeah, let's
Or
I'm just
sorry,
gonna keep it.
whatever the other one is called, bookmark.
Well, let's do them all. Mention.
Sure.
So that
That puts a name
and,
on it. That's pretty cool.
and then goes to the URL. Okay. And let's do another one. What was the other one? We're just doing some, okay, bookmark.
Hack. Yeah, looks good.
Nice.
We are hacking. If you ever want to know what hacking is, this is what hacking is. But you know, I think URL is just, it just pastes it as, you know, the text and puts a link on it. So that's kind of fun. But yeah, now we've documented this dandelion light in our Notion database, and so it's there, and it's also in this other table that has some other sort of things.
And just a
in there.
quick note on Notion databases, like the most important thing to know about Notion is that every page is a database. They're both. And you can start one from another. But now that we have this data that we're looking at in table form right here can be presented and parsed in other ways. Or we can connect proposals from this database to projects over on the project board. So it enables a lot. We have this safe little place to just feel like we're keeping some simple notes. But then this becomes useful as you start making connections.
Nice. Are these individual pages? Yeah, okay, these are great. So these are the proposal pages, and then okay. And this dandelion does have its own proposal page in Notion. So if we went here and did, how would I search for, okay, no, Control K.
Or just
at.
Yeah, at searches and then embeds the link of your result.
Okay,
You
so
can say like dandelion light and see what else we have.
Yeah, that's gotta be it.
Yeah, that's from the project table. Perfect.
And this is the one that we worked over a couple of Thursdays ago. Ooh, that'd be nice.
This, like, as an outcome, if we could connect current proposals in the Gimbalabs pipeline to current Catalyst proposals,
right,
that would give us a picture of some priorities to set.
And this, Martin, is this is slightly different, the same proposal, or was it? I just want to make a note that connects this proposal to your idea scale fund 13. And how would
I use the template for a project proposal. So this is the primary driver for Gimbalabs is the project for Gimbalabs, and Fund 13 was the first task in this project, basically. So Fund 13 is now ongoing to get funding and to, you know, fund also this primary driver.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, basically a few rows down, you can see the Fund 13 draft and Catalyst.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
And that's a copy of Fund 12, and I made some changes here, reviewed the comments from the last time. So Fund 12 got some reviews which were not so good. Most of them were good, and some of them are like, I don't see how this proposal does anything for the community. It's 2 stars. It's like, yeah, what do you do with that? But it's in there. And it's like, maybe that's a competitor.
Yeah, possibly.
So yeah, I summarized those things, tried to update the proposal, and yeah, it's now in draft on Catalyst, so there's the latest draft. I don't keep this up to date in Notion, but yeah, it's so much to do the double work. I don't see the benefit. So if you want to read the real thing,
Yeah. Oh, I want to take a 5 second. Well, it's gonna be a little more than 5 seconds with me. One of the things that you can do, and I'm talking to you, YouTube listener, future Fun 25 Project Catalyst. Although as Quasar says, we don't really know what's going to look like after this iteration. But if the Lido Nation is still around and there are reviews, here's something that you could do. You can get all of these reviews up on a big thing. Go up to the top. Put your cursor there, scroll down to the bottom, hit the shift key, copy, go over to ChatGPT, paste it in, ask for, oh boy, you can see all my ChatGPT stuff. But you can ask for negative data points and rebuttals, and it will craft. I mean, I can show you what I did for one. Is it the playground? Oh, it was a study group.
I didn't even
It was my.
I did it by
Yeah. These are trade secrets. This is the hard-fought lessons. These are hard-fought lessons. Okay, yeah. So here.
But that's why I mention it about where can we get the data set, the raw data, because you could run it through an Azure cloud where you just do AI analysis on every piece of text and do a sentiment analysis and everything. Yeah.
Kevin is elevating this idea, and I love it in real time, of course. But unfortunately, not everybody is on the data train. For whatever reason, Darlington of the Lido Nation was able to like finagle that he got the line on it, and but I don't know how or where the data pipeline goes and how we got it. I remember that was my very first idea in Project Catalyst. I was like, idea scale is like, shouldn't we be doing this all like on our own thing?
Yeah,
and but I did.
It was very much a process. Like he had to make noise to get what he wanted. And idea scale is a bad platform, right? So like nobody's ever been happy with it.
Yeah. But okay, so that is an idea. I think probably in the future, maybe with this next Fun 14, they'll have more open Catalyst voices, as Martin is discussing in the chat or mentioning in the chat. But this is just one, making music with AI. That's pretty awesome. But doing something like this for your proposal to sort of help you refine it if you're going to do them over and over again. So that's my sidebar. All right. What else? I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and just go off for a second. One of the okay, I'm going back to share my screen. It's too much fun. I can't stop it now that I've started. So we talked about Dandelion Light. What about others? What about others? We saw cues. We can continue on with dropping in here.
Well,
and if you've got a Notion account, you definitely are welcome to jump in here and do.
And before we move on, just to generalize a little bit, I think the Dandelion Light is such a great example to start with because it is a Fun 13 proposal. And it's also something that Martin brought to the proposal process here. And on the one hand, I agree with Martin completely. I don't think there's any need to keep the precise content of a Catalyst proposal up to date with the Gimbalabs proposal, but they can coexist. And right, we're going to be going through the process for Catalyst, and we're not going to know funding results until January. If there's a part of this plan that we can start working on together with the Fund 12 treasury funds we have now, that's something that we can explore. And I hope that's something that we do over the next few weeks, is look at all of these proposals as descriptions of work we can do, but that not all of it do we have to wait on. And right, and that might not be true about every single one of these proposals, but looking for connections to work we've already been doing on Thursdays is something that's really going to set us going for the next few weeks.
And I will add on to that because, and this is how, okay, here's another inside Project Catalyst tip from, I'm certainly not new, but it's sort of like when you move to some place where there's old timers and you're like, well, I'm not really an old timer in Project Catalyst because I've only been here for, 4 years, or, because there's people that have been here, for 20 years, so, but one of the things, and I think the way to make Catalyst not crazy making is to have a strong center of what you personally, Kevin, Quasar, Ken, what you want to do, and that you're building on. And it's basically the things that you would do anyway, and then see where they align. This is kind of that ikigai, idea of saying, these are the things that I'm passionate about and I want to see out there in the world. And then we use the Catalyst as an opportunity to sort of level up the game. It gives us this kind of nutty deadline: submit a proposal in this format at this date. And then you get another week to, refine or talk about your proposal, look for co-proposers, be able to change it. And then you go through a voting process where you pitch it. And it's cool if that's the thing that you would really love to see out there. And that's what's helping me. It's just like, I love, and I took this from Quasar, another Quasar. I'm on Quasar. I'm on you, buddy. Where he was like, hey, I wrote it down somewhere, but you had like 3 different things. You're like, I'm here for this, this, and this. And I kind of boiled that down through the Ikigai process. Like, I want to do facilitation. I want to do documentation, which I feel leads to education. So I'm looking to facilitate in ways that I can facilitate. I'm looking to document in ways I can document. And that, in my mind, sort of fits in that education thing. Thus, my proposal is about this education playbook. Or the other one that I have at the Odin community, a governance study group, kind of an open protocol governance study book that creates documentation in the physics of the project, meaning that we give these talks that are recorded as like blog posts and etc. So think about what you really want to do and put out there in the world, and then focus on that and not necessarily the noise and the stuff around Catalyst. Really use it as an opportunity and not as like the main thing. Yeah. That may be kind of teachy, but it's just, in that sort of open source style, like, this is how I do it. How do you do it? No, I'm serious. How do you do it?
I don't know. That's for you listeners out there on YouTube, please.
No. Let's stay in the rhetorical.
Okay.
No, but I do think everybody should consider that question, and I do think it's also an evolution. if when you're just getting started, sometimes you write proposals where you're trying to write things that you think people will like. And as we build out our trust in each other, this is the opportunity, right? Like we get closer to the proposals just being a description of work that's happening anyway. And there's enough kind of foundations of trust that it's like, all right, some proportion of this work is going to get done. So maybe if you don't have like a direct answer to Newman's question, like, are you on a journey towards more alignment between what you want to be doing and what you're saying in Catalyst?
Let's look at somebody else. Actually, you know what? Ken.
And Quasar's
also. Quasar. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
No, that's okay, Newman. I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm all over you too, man. Like we can dance this thing out all you want. The thing with Catalyst and writing the proposals, it's a combination of what you want to do, the opportunity you see, and what you want to say, and how to translate it into an idea scale proposal template submission versus compared to what's going on now and the reality that you need to be planning for next year or 6 months from now, and what can change then. That's one of the things I struggle with Catalyst. There's no way to address things as they come up in real time and in real life, and unfortunately life and code and Cardano is all improvisation, in my opinion. There's no improv category, or, you know, how do you address things in real time?
Yeah, meaning that like that trust that what your plan or what you're doing might change. Like, you know, like they would remember it used to change even more. Like I guess these last three, like it would be like your category is going away. You know, I was on the challenge team for a couple, and the challenges go away. Not necessarily a bad thing. But it was like, oh, we geared up for DAOs Love Cardano, or we geared up for like a regional challenge, and then they went away. You could find your place, you know. The miscellaneous, the MISC challenge was you know, kind of dovetailed into the Catalyst Open, which then split to technical and ecosystem. But is that what you're getting at? Like that sort of like building a trust with the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. A trust with the platform and obviously the community, and Cardano, the tech. You know, never know what's going to be released or what may break or slow down, what opportunity will pop up. And you can't really come to the table and say, here's my idea. The idea is to adjust and morph to what is needed, or, you know, let's expand or change the idea as it goes along. And, you know, unfortunately or fortunately, a lot of my proposals, especially this round, are incomplete, but kind of meant to be more open. Yeah.
Yeah. Kim, I love that. I love that incomplete and rephrased as just open. You know, an incomplete idea in my mind is okay if it's iterating and in that. Yeah, I like that. There's something there because we're
There's
all
someone's going to
incomplete.
come to you with needs, you know,
Right.
and I like
Right.
being able to provide answers, as you indicated so nicely. I often have answers to things, good or bad. But yeah, I mean, you know, for me, it's providing that path to a problem. And like right now, we've got the Constitution and the Civics Committee elections all stacked on top of this. You know, that's why we don't integrate this parallel or multi-narrative thing going on in Cardano is beyond me.
Okay.
My apologies. I don't understand the question clearly enough. I'm sorry. So what are we doing actually now? I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, we're just talking about Catalyst and how, in my mind, we're talking about Catalyst and how basically to approach it. And yeah.
So you mean the philosophy of what Catalyst is all about, you mean? And discuss that?
Yeah, it could be like how to contribute and a contribution and yeah, contribution comes up, like how to contribute without sort of burning yourself out, because that really sticks in my craw with like there's so many people that were here and that aren't. Like we saw Nadia at that playground. And Kevin, I don't know if you know Nadia, but she was here like a lot. She was just a driver and got stuff done, like really was able to cut through the noise and get things done. And then she wasn't here, and it was really kind of sad. But yeah, Kevin, do you have any Project Catalyst proposals out, or have you been in a funded thing or?
No, not yet. But I've done a few hackathons. And maybe I can share some thinking there. It's when you propose an idea, because you go to an environment where you are with 5 or 6 people and you try to think working something out in order to win. But what is winning and what is your idea? And it all starts from trying to explain or figure out what the pain point is of a certain task you want to achieve. So in the context of smart cities, you ask yourself, okay, what are the pain points of the current situation? And so you create a business canvas. And that's actually where you try to, using questions to an audience about a certain context, you let them fill in the questionnaire and try to figure out what the pain point is. Then you try to invent the ideal solution to it. What would be the feeling of that client from that perception? And I think that should be connected to, in the context of Cardano. Let's say, okay, we have users, we have old users, new users, we have young people, old people. What are the pain points of the crypto society and the legacy financial structures? And then you try to figure out what are the pain points of that financial environment. Is it identity? Is it what are the main things that are ideas, like the digital identity idea and so on? And I think if you pinpoint the root problem, then you can try to figure out a solution towards that point. And if you can then make a proposal based on your solution that you already worked on, and you are able to do some kind of a proof of concept, then I think you can ask funding, because you're already standing on your feet and you just need another kick, another push. That's what I think, but I don't know. It's just share it here in the pool and change it whatever you like. And if you don't agree, please do so. Let's change everything I just said. Yeah.
I think, if I could just add something, Kevin, like a lot of the context for everything that you're hearing about Catalyst, like when James was here for the first funding round, which wasn't real money, and there were like 70 or 80 people involved at that time. And it just, it exploded. And so there have been, just lots of experiences of complaints and gaming of the voting and gaming of the reviewing, because they want to incentivize everything. They don't want people to work for nothing. In theory, they don't. And, you know, there's a lot of wounds, you know, that have accumulated over the years with all of that stuff. And it is a new day, you know, and, you know, because of the dynamic of bringing Cardano governance live on chain and everything, you know, it could change again in the next 6 months, you know, with the institution of the Cardano Constitution, and, you know, that budget structure and all of that shit, you know. And it's, you know, like, even after 4 years, we don't know what it's going to be like 6 months from now. So there's been a lot of evolution and, you know,
Evolution's a good term
problems.
for it.
Yeah, the uncertainty. Yeah,
It's hard to live with, you know. I mean,
yeah.
you know, like, because you get, you know, like early on, James, you know, Gimbalabs was funded early on, and then not, you know, like, and that happened to several projects, you know, around the world, where you get this huge love, and then you get nothing for 8, 10, 12 months,
Yeah.
and it's really difficult. It's really difficult.
It's like a similar story is like, you make a friend, you go to a bar, you have a good night, the beers have been flowing back and forth,
Right.
and then a week later you go to the same bar, you see the same person, but he doesn't even say hello.
Yeah, it's like my second wife. She was a lot like that.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
I'm sorry for that, Steve.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, okay.
He
Yeah,
never misses an opportunity, this guy.
no, it's important. Things that hurt. It's really important to share. And yeah, I'm really sorry you had that experience.
No, but it is evolution. It's not
Yeah.
something, it's right. It's been hard work, but we've learned a lot. And one of the most important things we've learned is that we're going to keep learning. Right? So whatever doesn't work now, we be realistic about that, because this is an unprecedented experiment at an unprecedented scale. Of course, it's not going to work the first time. So we have to be able to name productively what's not working, because that's the point. And then we build things in response to that.
You know, and I would point out that, you know, going ahead and sticking with it for 4 years, you know, Gimbalabs has a pretty darn solid reputation in the community.
Yeah, congrats. It's amazing. Yeah, failure is absolutely horrible feeling, and yeah, maybe hold that idea of the experimentation and being in a unique situation. Huh. Yeah, I'll enjoy joining even the failures.
Right. Oh, that's beautiful. Enjoy even the failures. And there's some great quotes about, like, what's about the failure. Oh, actually, a buddy of mine, a mountain guide, used to wear a button that said, "Failure is impossible."
Yeah, the road to success is paved in failures. And
yes,
as a student, I'm sure James knows, you need failures in order to make progress. But okay, this is all nice talk, but in practice, yeah, it's really painful. I understand. Yeah, I just joined Gimbalabs not that long ago, so I don't really understand what happened with you in 4 years, but yeah, okay. Please continue. I'll stop interrupting here.
No,
No,
it's not an interruption. This is so important.
Absolutely not.
Thank you.
Absolutely not.
Unfortunately, we remember things a lot more clearly when they go wrong than when they go right.
Yes, that's a brain thing, you know, that we're tuned for negativity. We're tuned to negativity because, you know, if it's going right, then you don't have to pay attention to it. You got to pay attention to the negative. And of course, that little brain feature can be hacked. So we get a lot
But,
of
but,
It would be so easy to collectively dwell in failure, but just to over and over again remember the unprecedented nature of what Catalyst is and to recognize opportunities at every turn is so important. And what I've
yeah,
learned, would advise is when you can imagine a system like the one Kevin described a few minutes ago, now find the one little nugget that you can work on next, connect that nugget to other work. And that's the best recipe that I've found for successful Catalyst proposals, right? Know your big picture, yes, but don't try to do the whole thing at once. Find the one little piece and show how it connects to other work. And we do see that is where successful proposals come from.
Okay, that is absolutely perfect because this has okay. This is the network mindset. This is the network mindset. We're thinking in networks. If you work, and especially around that connect, if you get the little pieces, we used to call the internet many pieces loosely joined.
Yes.
And they were loosely joined with, I said the whole thing, but the protocol, these protocols, but knowing the big picture, but being able to work on the small thing. I'll take it very practical. Over at Odin, we were like, we want to do a PBL. And we're like, okay, let's, and for like 6 months, we struggled with a PBL and it just wasn't coming out right. And so we was like, well, what do we really want to do? And we're like, okay, let's just learn. And I think it was Randall. Is Randall here? I love you, Randall. But he's just, and he would get grumpy. Randall gets grumpy. And he's just like, we are just talking about shit and we're not doing anything. And we're like, okay, what can we do? Let's research principles about S3. So we narrowed it down to just S3, Sociocracy 3. And we agreed, we all made a commitment to meet at a certain time on Zoom and talk about and present on a principle that we did. And then we just called the Odin study group, but the proposal this time is called, geez, we changed the names, like SIP 1694. I should bring it up, but the idea is that we just narrowed it down. I mean, we didn't get funded, but we were able to do it. And then it's part of a bigger picture. And then the interesting thing is that the plan can evolve from there. You get into something that you want to do and that you can do, and that's rewarding in and of itself. And we've had a lot of fun. We've had a lot of fun working on it. The study group.
Yeah, I like how Catalyst gives the impetus to talk to other projects and see if there's like common ground to do something together. So you have bigger chances of getting a project funded. And yeah, I think that's the most positive part of Catalyst.
Well, it's interesting because and this kind of goes back to maybe what Kevin was saying about like finding these pain points. There used to be a phase of Catalyst. We held back like solutioning and we just talked about our pain points, like what are the problems? And then there was this phase where we then submitted our proposals. And that first part was like, it was like where you would find your collaboration. Now that we have like proposal submission and then it's just a week of where we can revise them. It's like, hey, we've all got these proposals. We've all got these proposals in, which I'm going to find right here. Now, can we, do you want to be involved with this proposal? And we can edit it still, so we can look for partnerships, we can look for co-proposers. Martin was just like, hey, I'm looking for co-proposers in our Dandelion Light. So that part where we connect, you know, where we can connect, like we're like, oh, this little thing that I'm working on, you can connect that to the bigger pieces, and then they, you know, Voltron style, or they composable, like the little parts can form into different bigger parts. Yeah, I think there's something to it. It is unprecedented and pretty awesome. So. I'm still high from last night's 40,000 people just screaming and shouting in absolute glee and joy. I hope that. I hope that's not. I hope that. Meanwhile, there's like total devastation going on in Tampa, and Sarasota and the gang down there. Oh, yeah. But I get excited. And I appreciate you all, you know, being here for the excitement.
Ooh, we are on to something. Thank you. This is really good.
Something to add. You see on the second line in your proposal list, there is Gimbalabs Marlow PBL. I noticed just off the record that the Marlow team just sent 3 smaller proposals on Catalyst to support the main Marlow project. I think there's Marlow version 2, then there's Marlow Oracle, and then there is Marlow sustainability, or upgrading and staying up to date or something.
Ooh, let's check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it's important because we are working on specific Gimbalabs proposals. So it's up to you to spend time on that or not in this meeting. It's just, yeah.
Is that how you spell Marlow? Yeah. Why is this so huge? Okay.
Are you able to choose just the current round?
Yes, here. No.
No,
yes. Stage.
That should be easy, shouldn't it? I guess stage, would that give us anything in the ideate stage?
I'll search for the links and put them in chat.
Yeah, if you can, because we can 8 campaign, no ideas are found with Marlow.
If you
try the Lido site, if you don't mind. Sorry to interrupt if I was talking over you.
Yeah, I've got them. So let me copy and paste.
1,760 proposals.
Here we go.
Here we go. You thinking? That's a lot of proposals, y'all.
Yep. That's right. That's why it's important that the work is valuable either way, right? If writing a proposal is a chance to make a plan for how we're going to work together.
Absolutely.
Oh, so this is in the recycle bin. So somebody threw this out. What does that mean, recycle bin? Oh wait, Kevin's got another one. Hold on. 229. This one's 139. This is fun. This is my happy place. Like digging through all this stuff together with a group of people. Absolutely cool.
You'd like to go to the thrift store and to Goodwill.
It's true.
People, so do I. Like I would rather do that sometimes. Let's just go together.
It's so cheap. It doesn't matter if it doesn't fit right.
Exactly.
But then sometimes you just get that like perfect jacket that's got like the zipper pockets. It's got the lining right. It's got everything is good. And then someone takes it from you and you're like, well, it was only $5.
Speaking of songs that sound good at a ballpark, there's one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So now, do we know some of these folks? Who do we know here?
There are three names.
Come on,
That's
I know that guy.
the cat. You see the cat picture there?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
cat guy, yeah.
That is Thomas. Yeah, that's actually a main developer who knows very well the Marlowe code and also codes. And then you have his colleague Henning something. Let me check.
Whoa, oh, there's a huge pixelated cat. Oh man.
Should be an
Here we
NFT, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll leave that now. No, I can't leave it.
Then you have
so-
Simon Thompson. I
Yeah,
think he's a professor actually. Yeah.
yeah.
And
He
he's
was
the
a-
initial leader of the idea, and then his fellow students join in, and he wrote together with his fellow white papers or something about Marlowe idea, and then the project started on. I think it's something like that. But he's going on pension soon, so his work. Yeah. Please, Steve.
No, I got to know him a little bit. I used to go to he and a guy from M Labs, Ben, started a developers working group, and I used to sit in on that just in case I heard something Gimbalabs would want to know about. And he's a really nice guy, but yeah, he's done some stuff in his life.
And we've been
Oh.
consulting with the team as they've drafted these proposals, and now we're finally with this initial round of catalyst behind us, and just a couple other things out of the way. Now it's time to really start building that course. So there's some exciting alignment there.
Oh, okay. I got to the bottom of this recycle event. They posted it in the ecosystem.
Okay.
They recycled that one and they put it in developers. That's what's up.
Is that what that recycling bin is about?
I guess there's no way to
Interesting.
I gave you
change
the
your
link. Yeah, I gave you a link to an old idea, I suppose, and that was in the recycle bin. Yeah, okay.
You've got the recycle bin and archive, so sometimes,
Yeah. Okay, so these dudes.
Yeah, Nicolas Hen, also a developer that has read-write access to the Git repo and so on. Yeah.
Watch this. Ah, you son of a bitch. Hold on.
There is a live stream, Newman.
Oh yeah, sorry, y'all. Sorry.
No, buddy. Please be yourself. No.
It's 11:47, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Using some salty language. Here we go. Watch this. Because I gotta fight sometimes. It's like I want this text. This won't do it. But my my operating system has a little feature, and I can do this. Bang, done. Okay. So these are their idea scale accounts, which may or may not be their Twitter accounts, even though they use, or any other accounts. So yeah. These are idea scale at Simon Thompson, etc.
From what I tried last weekend, I tried to run a piece of code that I wrote some time ago, how to use Marlowe and Marlowe CLI and so on, and the Cardano node version 9.3, I believe, is now is not the Babbage era. It's now called the it's called the era again. Yeah, I forgot the name. It's another name, and yeah, so the Marlowe code is no longer compatible with that, and so I'm stuck until they upgrade. So for the course, we are a bit stuck. So if they if they don't maintain it, I think the Marlowe project is like frozen, and there is no development being done. So I'm like yeah. It will not stop. I think they will try again in Fund 14 and 15 and so on. So let's be patient.
Yeah, does this get us over into the conversation? Oh my God, we've got 10 minutes. You guys let me just ramble this whole time, man. Come on now. But that brings us to this topic of maintenance. And it feels like open source and software development has talked about maintenance for such a long time. And like, how does it work? Like, what are the best practices? What are the pain points? I mean, we're all experiencing the pain points with, PBL 2024. They changed the CLI and we had or they changed the node, and that causes a bunch of problems. It's, like there's tremendous amount of dependencies that all of this work is because of the sort of the network, that we're all building things.
I think it's also happening on your courses on Andamio. You have to maintain them, and this is painful because if your funding does end, how are you going to maintain the new code? And then secondly, you see other kids on the block that build new code, new languages. You have GC script now, you have Icon, you have all kinds of DSL tools. Maybe there is a Python derivative, and it will change. And that's what Steve also mentioned. It's an ongoing changing process. You never know in 8 or 6 months what's going to change completely. So I'm like, okay, what works best for the betterment of financial contracts and the future of Cardano? I don't mind to change, but I hope that if we study a certain language or a certain DSL, or we spend some time, that it is worth it, and that we choose the correct one for a longer time to be useful. I don't know what the rest thinks. Yeah, can we predict the future? No, but what do we feel? So the project of Martin, I think it's pretty future-proof because there is some kind of a main idea. The courses on Andamio, I think they're pretty strong. But I've been thinking last few days, there is an AI, a language model coming up, and the agents, the age of agents AI is coming. So why do we write all the manuals and the explanations on a website? In the future, we just put all the information in such a language model, and the quiz and the content will be streamed for you on demand personally. So yeah, that will change as well. Yeah.
I mean, Kevin, you just tell me, and I mean, Newman, I appreciate that people are enthusiastic about AI, but I constantly wonder, how do you know you can trust AIs? Like when people first started asking AI to code, like they were getting garbage a lot of times, and like at least a couple of months ago, I read some AI synopsis, and it was mushy, it felt like it was AI. It's like, like if you listen to AI music, it's like whatever Taylor Swift songs, and I don't know how much I am just yearning and leaping towards this AI thing. I think the agent's idea in terms of like sourcing information is more interesting and a little bit easier to look at analytically, the value of it. But this thing of just embracing everything that AI is going to say to us is really a hard pill for me to swallow.
Yes. I the AI is first like a gun. It's the wielder that holds the gun that can do harm or good. Okay. Secondly, the quality of the gun depends on the question that you ask. So if you create a model and you put information in it, it's a language model. So it's capable of using the language for your benefit. So if you feed it with whatever you give it, it will return to you what you gave it. So if you give it bad information, it will give you bad information. Now, the models closed, like ChatGPT, they are limited and checked for abusive answers or bad answers. Now, okay, so I hope, and I don't know, that the AI technology can bring more truth to our uncertain environments. We are feeded with bad information all the time, and that is really a problem. And I believe AI is at the moment not yet capable of being a truth machine or something like that. But in the context of this idea I just explained, for, let's say, imagine you have an agent used for writing Marlowe scripts, then you can ask you give your business acumen in text in the prompt, and it gives you the source code, the script, let's say, that you can or may not read, and then copy paste it in your simulator, and it will just explain you and demonstrate to you what the code really does. And that's fine. If there is a mistake in there, you will find it. These days, there are even swarms of agents that do some kind of a chain thinking, where they backtrack if they made a mistake or not. And then I think this self-checking, and you as a user need to simulate and see if the code that it's created or presented is what you asked. Then you can deploy it on chain and do business with other peers following that escrow contract or other ideas. But I don't know if, Steve, that answers your question completely. But yeah, your concern is actually a real concern. Yes, I agree. But I think maybe, yeah, there is hope. I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
I don't know the answers to it's really an important question there. I don't know either in detail. Maybe I sound a little bit like, oh, I know it, but yeah, that's what I think. I just share it, and yeah, please change and correct me if I'm wrong. So.
Like I'm a little bit, I've got baggage, right? Like I went to the Cardano summit in Wyoming a few years ago, and I had been convinced of Ben Goertzel from Singularity AI's genius, and he was going to be there. And I thought he was going to talk about how they were going to unroll AI in a decentralized way. And he got on stage with a robot and Charles, and they made jokes with this robot, and he never talked about AI at all. And it was like,
right,
and now it's like I still don't know what Singularity does, in terms of like providing value, and yet they've gone from the Ethereum ERC20 status to being on Cardano, and now they've combined with Fetch, and I still don't know what they have for product. Like this, and this is, like general artificial general intelligence is really attractive to me, but I don't know that we have it yet. Even after all years and years of talking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was I do remember this, and I was just like, come on, man. And it feels like conversations like this are happening quite a bit. And I think that is probably like the best thing for it. I am mindful of the time. We're rolling into the allotted time, and I know if people need to jump off, and maybe for our live stream, we might want to wrap things up. I'll pass it over to possibly to James to sort of see where we're at.
Sure. Yeah, we are at time, but we're starting some really good conversations here. I'm struck by the similarities, right? So Kevin named that there are different languages for building on Cardano, and we might not know which one's going to be valid in the future. While at the same time, we don't know how we're going to interface with writing code in the first place, because AI is going to change that. And I think it's really valuable to kind of see the similarities between those two forces. And where that leads me to land is that the best we can do right now is imagine the systems that are resilient to changes in programming languages or changes in how we write code in the first place. So I think that's really what we're going to be focusing on here, is really trying to model those systems. And the way we do that is by taking the small first steps, right? Because the old way is to have enough power to define a system and impose it on everyone from a top-down level. That old way is going away right now. And what it's being replaced with are grassroots movements like this one, built on some powerful new technology that allow us to collaborate in new ways, right? We can't build the whole system at once. Nobody can imagine it because nobody has the right answer. And even if you did, you wouldn't be able to sell it to everyone. But what we can do is run experiments that help us piece by piece put together systems that are resilient to change, and then cultivate those systems so that they evolve into the future. I'm pretty excited to be doing that. And I'm excited to find those threads in all of the current work we're doing, because that is what we have the opportunity to do. And that is very much what Catalyst is built to do, right? Is to help us build piece by piece by articulating what we're doing now and how it connects to the future. So I'm happy to stick around. We'll end the live stream. Congrats on everybody for getting proposals in. We'll keep it going. And if anybody wants to stick around and keep thinking, we can. I'm happy to do a little more strategizing if it's helpful. But y'all, if you're watching the video, find us 14:30 UTC on Thursdays, gimbalabs.com/calendar. The link is here, and we hope to see you soon. Cheers, everybody. There's the calendar.
Bye.